Have you ever woken up from a dream so incredibly vivid that it actually took you a few seconds to realize it wasn't real? Like your heart is pounding and you're just totally disoriented? Well, what if that exact same feeling applies to your waking life right now? Today, we're diving straight into a fascinating explainer of some profound source material. We're unpacking a theological framework where literally everything you see around you, our physical reality, our bodies, our daily lives, might just be a massive deception masking the true eternal world of the soul. So, I want you to picture your current waking reality as a highly detailed, cinematic dream that you mistakenly believe is permanent. Just as a dream state completely shatters the second you open your eyes, this framework argues that our entire mortal life is simply a facade. All those little details we use to build our identities, our names, our careers, the way our bodies look in the mirror, they're nothing more than temporary variables in a much grander illusion. And this idea isn't just coming out of nowhere. It actually spans multiple religious texts. Take this incredibly powerful quote from Imam Ali. He said, "The people are asleep. When they die, they will wake up." It completely flips our understanding of death. It suggests that death isn't an end at all. No, it's actually the ultimate awakening. It's the exact moment we finally snap out of the illusion of this physical realm and see reality for what it truly genuinely is. What's really interesting here is how perfectly this aligns with the ancient Hindu concept of Maya. Now, Maya translates to both nature and illusion. In this specific framework, your physical body and your mind, they aren't really you. Instead, they're seen as an inescapable prison house for the self. It's an intricate trap set by a grand deceiver, explicitly designed to distract you from your true spiritual essence. This sets up a really stark contrast. Our physical identities are temporary, right? But our true essence belongs entirely to this eternal soul world. We naturally feel incredibly attached to our physical parents, our spouses, our kids. But here's where the source material really challenges us. Because this world is a realm of deception, the physical bonds we cherish so deeply are, technically speaking, an illusion. They're actually obscuring the eternal ties of our real, spiritual family. The book of Genesis actually highlights the grim reality of this physical trap pretty clearly. I mean, think about it. We obsess over physical beauty. We spend absolute fortunes fighting wrinkles and gray hair, but the body is biologically programmed to fail. For dust you are, and unto dust you shall return. If the physical body were actually our ultimate true form, we wouldn't discard it into the dirt the very moment it breaks down. Yet even while our bodies decay, the love we feel for the people we've lost remains. Why is that? Well, the explainer points out that true, selfless love does not originate from physical matter. It's a divine command stemming directly from the soul. It acts as this pure, unbreakable energy imported straight from the world of light, totally and completely untouched by the physical decay going on all around us. Let's be real, earthly love is often pretty tainted. A lot of what people call love in this world is actually just a toxic desire to possess someone, which inevitably leads to jealousy, rage, and heartbreak. But true soul love, that is inherently selfless. It's patient and it's kind. It keeps no record of wrongs and rejoices with the truth. It quite literally never fails because it belongs to a perfect, eternal world that is completely distinct from our flawed physical reality. So think about this. A creation naturally reflects its creator, right? If God is infinite and perfect, an infinite God wouldn't create a finite, decaying world filled with unavoidable suffering. It just doesn't add up. Therefore, this framework suggests that our physical reality, with all its built-in obsolescence, disease, and pain, is actually the handiwork of a deceiver, the devil. To really grasp the cinematic scale of this deception, consider this famous analogy from Prophet Muhammad. Imagine dipping your finger into the ocean and pulling it out. That one tiny drop of water on your finger, that represents every single beautiful thing in this entire physical world. Everything. The rest of the endless, sprawling ocean, that represents the unimaginable vastness and the breathtaking reality of the hereafter. It's a completely different scale. But what actually happens if you don't wake up to this reality? Well, things take a bit of a dark turn here. The framework details a really grim cycle of reincarnation. Souls return round after round. You're assigned a new mother, a new spouse, new kids each time. It feels incredibly real while you're in it, but it's really just a closed loop bound by the natural law of karma. You're constantly trying to pay off debts from past lives that you don't even remember. And this leads to a truly terrifying definition of hell. We're not just talking about physical fire here. Hell is described as the unimaginable psychological anguish of being forced to remember every single bit of suffering you've ever endured across all those countless incarnations. I mean, just try to imagine multiplying your worst heartbreak or your worst trauma by hundreds or thousands of lifetimes. It's staggering. Because we live in a world of duality, carrying your earthly memories forward means you're necessarily carrying your trauma, too. Therefore, entering paradise actually requires a clean slate. To prevent that kind of unimaginable psychological anguish, your memory of this physical deception has to be completely wiped clean. That is the only way to allow you to exist in a state of pure, unburdened joy. But even with wiped memories, there's a really powerful beacon of hope here: the magnetic pole of true love. As Prophet Muhammad reassured a follower, you will be with those whom you love. In the world of light, the pure energy of the soul completely takes over. You will instantly recognize and be eternally united with your true soul family, regardless of your erased earthly memories. That bond survives. Now, this dynamic fundamentally shifts how divine succession is understood in the source material. Historically, we think of leadership passing from a physical father to a physical son. But with figures like Imam Ahmed al-Hassan, succession relies on eternal soul lineage, not biological DNA. In this framework, biblical and historical figures like Moses and Zainab are actually considered his literal soul children. They're connected through eternal light, rather than physical blood. Let's look at the fall of man. When Adam and Eve were banished from Eden, they were given garments of skin, meaning human bodies. But here is the crucial part. Satan and his offspring were banished to this exact same physical realm, and they were forced into the exact same biological suits. Both the righteous and the demonic walk the earth in identical, fleshy disguises. And that leads to a pretty chilling assertion found in the Quran. It says that the children of Satan are mixed directly into humanity. Because physical lineage is just an illusion, the soul inhabiting your brother, your wife, or your child might fundamentally be a cosmic adversary. It kind of explains why our earthly families can so often be our most profound spiritual tests and our biggest sources of conflict, right? I want you to imagine being dropped into a spiritual war zone where both armies wear the exact same uniform and carry the exact same weapons. Because the children of light and the children of darkness both wear the biological suit of the human body, the soldiers in this cosmic war are essentially fighting blind. It's practically impossible to visually distinguish a friend from an eternal foe. The absolute tragedy of this blindness is captured in this haunting warning from Imam Ali about eating the flesh of a brother while longing for him. Because souls reincarnate into lower life forms based on karmic debt, the animal on your dinner plate could literally possess the soul of a past life relative you once wept over. It's a grotesque yet incredibly powerful illustration of just how deep this world's deception really goes. Ultimately, across all these traditions, from Jesus warning against the desires of the flesh to Imam Ali comparing the world to the sneeze of a goat, the message is completely unified. To free your soul and actually win this cosmic war, you have to fight your primal, animalistic survival instincts. You have to reject earthly attachments and recognize your physical body for what it truly is, a temporary, deceptive prison. So we have to ask ourselves, if the body decays, if our physical family lines are just temporary illusions, and if the truest form of love comes from an entirely different dimension altogether, what are you spending your life chasing? Take a moment today to really consider what is eternal within you and what is simply a shadow of the great deception. Thanks for hanging out with me to explore this source material, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.